Hello, hello. We are about to embark on our inquiry. So we've got the blue marble and we're scrolling down and we are going to do the habit of mind applying past knowledge to new situations because you've already done the first three. So let's click onto that. Habit of mind applying past knowledge to new situations. So this is about your thinking. And this is a really important part of inquiry because we need to ask lots of questions. So the first question here says, what should you do when you're doing something for the first time? When you are learning something new or doing something for the first time, it is helpful to think about what you already know and try to apply your knowledge in the new situation. So we have to take our memories and throw them back. We all began to ride a bike for the first time. Some of us are really good at riding a bike already, and some of us are probably still learning. But when you were balancing, you have to balance to walk, you have to balance to hop. And when you start to learn to ride a bike, you have to take your prior knowledge of balancing and apply it to that bike. Because if you don't balance on the bike, it falls over. Their little example is if you were asked to build a house using bricks, you could apply your skill of making a sandwich. Laying bricks is similar to making sandwiches because the bricks are held together by the filling called mortar. So, for example, you have your sandwich and you might put your butter and your ham and some cheese and then the top of the sandwich, and that's that layering process that you see with bricks. So, and you know that if the filling in your sandwich is off to the side, your sandwich doesn't work. So it all has to be centered. All right, so let's getting our brains thinking question. Maybe you can think of something else where you have some experience. So for example, I'm the teacher, but you're the student. However, you've been taught. Do you think you could apply that knowledge when you go to teach someone else? Because you've been taught and you've seen teaching. Maybe you could apply that when you teach. Maybe your brother or sister or a friend, something new. All right, number 2. How could you apply your knowledge of brushing your teeth? This is an interesting one. So it says you know how to brush your teeth and you can apply this knowledge when you are learning to do something new. Think about new situations where you could apply your knowledge of brushing teeth. So one example, and I want you to try and come up with 5 if possible, but one example I can give you, because brushing is up and down and around and you know, all those different things, is maybe I could wash the windows, the scrubbing motion, the windows of the house. So think of that. Can you come up with another 4? Okay, you can pause me and do that now. All right, number 3. What is another example of knowledge that you could apply to a new situation? It says, think of another example of how you might be able to apply past knowledge to new situations. Draw a picture of your example showing how you can use past knowledge in a new situation. This is the part of the thinking, the habit of minds that we get really confused with. So their examples are, if you are stuck, here are some ideas to help you. I can walk across a balance beam. So what past knowledge do you have that would enable you to walk on a balance beam? I can convince my friends to play a game I like. Well, that one's a really easy one. What past knowledge do you have that says that you could, in fact, convince your friends to play a game that you like? It's a power of persuasion. Do you persuade your parents? So think about that. And the next point is, I know that when I throw a stone into water, it will sink. Well, what knowledge do you have that helps you to know that that's a fact if you've never done it before? So thinking all the new experiences that we do, the things we embark on, even this remote learning, all of this is new. if you think about the remote learning, what past experience tells you that you can actually embark on this? And who of you listening to me could take some of that past experience and be more independent and lean less on your parents? What would you do? Could you listen to me a few times? Could you pause and give yourself time to think? There's lots of different options. All right, point 4. It says, during this learning, what will you be doing? During this learning sequence, you will be practicing the habit of applying past knowledge to new situations as you plan a campaign to help protect an endangered animal. So it says, write a list of past experiences that you have had, which you could use as you plan a campaign to help protect an endangered animal. So for example, we have endangered wildlife in South Africa. Think of the elephant. Those tusks were often used to make ornaments, and they would kill the whole elephant just for the tusks. And as a result, all the elephants started to diminish and become endangered. And so campaigns were made around that. In fact, campaigns were so successful that it became illegal to buy and sell ivory, because a tusk is called ivory. So that meant that those elephants were able to not be endangered anymore as the numbers grew and grew again. But there's still problems. So campaigns are about educating people about what's happening to this endangered animal. Why is this animal endangered? And what can we do to prevent the extinction of this animal? So we're going to have to use a lot of our knowledge of persuasion, of previous ideas, how to do an advert, how to write things. We're going to have to take all that stuff that we already know, and we're going to have to apply it to this situation. Don't forget to hit your button here which says completed. Mine says assigned to class, which will be green when I hit it. But your button, which is a student button, says you've completed it. So when you've completed doing all that, hit that button for me and Mr. K and Mr. L, and we will then know that you've gone through this and you've done your work and you're learning, because that's what we want. We want you to learn. Cheerio.